Kapa Hawaiian FM 100.3, 99.1, and online at kaparadio.com. Of course, mahalo to our Kapa Cafe sponsor today, our friends at Kona Grill House. You can call for their daily specials at 323-3512. Joining us today, we've been debuting his music on Kapa Hawaiian FM, and I've been getting some really cool feedback as Jazz and I posted our picture on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Kapa Cafe, Ikaakamai. Aloha kakahiaka.
Aloha nui kako.
How are you, bro? Well, we're very excited to, number one, have you on and talk story about this project. For those who may not know of you, I know you from backing up other musicians. Name some of the projects, or I guess some of the artists that you people might know you from.
I'm a longtime musician for Sudden Rush up until this last tour this past year, and I also am the music director for Skanlin and these guys. Got some new music coming out for everybody, and just playing for a bunch of towns in bands in Hilo Town, Loeka Longakit, and others.
Awesome, awesome. But you know, the one thing that I think that I'd like to ho'omaka with is the fact that he mele paleo, ale he paleo leo aka he mele mau ka olelo Hawai'i, no leila hiki pahia oi ke vehe I ke kumu. So out of all the reasons mele that you're doing, you debuted this mele mau ka olelo Hawai'i. E vehe mai.
I think, me personally, there's not enough music for us to say in our language, especially music of this generation, of what people are listening to now. You know, we have a lot of traditional Hawaiian music that we hear all the time, but we see the keiki listening to all their TikTok songs and just the new music that's kind of trending. So I figure, even though I'm kind of taking on old Jamaican rhythms, old Hawaiian, from the 70s and 80s. Going from those influences, I feel that this is a good thing, and I hope that the keikis will see that and they start to make their own music in their own genre of choice, not only traditional Hawaiian music.
You know, it has been done already by the Maori. The Maori have been doing it forever. You know, with hip hop. I mean, the Maori sound with the 808 beat has almost become its own thing too. Even with Samoans. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like a lot of the younger generation, some of them would probably be interested to learn how to speak just because of hearing it in their genre of music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. Listening to Aipo Haku growing up, I knew all the words to Huki'ia before I could, understand anything. And I think that goes far. And I'm sure there are a lot of Keiki Hawaii in the same boat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that means I'm old when you say that. Oh my gosh. So did you como the Papa Hana Kayapuni or Pehea Oi Ia Oi Ka Olelo Hawai'i? How did you learn the Hawaiian language?
So I learned from the University of Hawaii at Hilo at the Kaku'ula Ke'alikolani College in my college days, so maybe around like 2014 around. I got into it, yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, not an immersion school.
You know, in writing for, I guess this genre, especially for, I guess to give some, I guess, advice to younger generation that might want to record this way, because we've heard it done. Various people have put, paleoleo in there and various sayings here and there. Do you find it, or are you writing the way that a traditional Hawaiian music artist would write? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I'm definitely using the Hawaiian elements of Hawaiian composition as seen called meiwi. There's a lot of research on it by Larry Kimura and Tiapo Pereira and a bunch of these pioneers in this field. But I like to use those, and I also use olelo no eo, because I feel that our old proverbial sayings are the way that our kupuna seen the language and seen context. So I feel like bringing those back into and kind of sewing them into our mele I suggest that the keiki start there and not just, take basic, conversational things, like kind of go there and, yeah.
And just to vehe a little bit, meiwi, a poetic style, if you will, in Hawaiian poetry. So for those that are wondering, oh, what is that? Take a class, okay, babes. Take a class so that you can learn how to hakumele ke kahi. What is the one thing do you think that stands out today as a young musician? And what do you think is the specialness here that we use Olelo Hawai'i in all genres? Why do we do that? Like, because you come from a different generation, and so you're doing reggae music. You're probably doing other music as well, and you choose Olelo Hawai'i. Why? You did share a little bit about that, but do you think there's any blocks, or do you think Hawaiian language can be done in any type of genre?
I do receive that other side of people not in kako'o towards this kind of cross of genre, but I think reggae in specific, it was made out of the struggle and the sovereignty movements of the Jamaican people, and it kind of went and became that of the whole world. So I think it's like specific to reggae that it works completely in the reggae rules and also in the Hawaii rules, because when Christians came and they brought verse, chorus, this is how you're gonna sing in harmonies, it's the same thing. But I do believe, and I have some hip hop songs coming out. Didn't go too far in the rap yet, but I'm definitely every month I'm trying a different project, and wherever it's taking me. But yeah, I definitely, for all the keikis out there, any genre that you like, please start there and then start reaching out.
What does it feel like to be on stage and have, because I've seen this in video and live with like with Kaikena, where it's mainly the audience is Kaiapuni kids and they know all the words, like to all the songs, even the the frisky ones. But
right.
How does that feel to you know what I mean? Like, because I know how she feels, I know how I feel, but you being there and being part of that, what does that feel like?
It's awesome. There are many videos of the whole band, just the vibe on stage, just glowing because of the feedback and the keiki kaiapuni, and even when we went to Kamehameha this past gig, everyone is just going off in unison, and it kind of just pushes us more and like kind of shows us that there's an outlet for this, and that's what they're all wanting. They're all wanting to get back to their roots, and roots music might be the way.
So how could anybody not support that?
Right?
I mean, of course, like anything, they're purists, and if you don't have haters, or if you have haters, you're doing something right.
Throw the book and all that in there, Lord of mercy. You just leave all that stuff out, it should be okay.
Right.
So how do you find your inspiration?
I think it depends. I get a lot from the Puke Olelo no Eo, a lot from our literature. I think a lot of my mentality and shaping how I see language and mannerisms and our spiritual connection and our ancestral knowledge, I see it through our literature. And so as far as the content of which my music is going to, it's kind of drawing from there. And then at the same time, I'm going real deep in the Jamaican vaults and kind of finding their singje style and their dancehall style, and kind of trying to incorporate it, but not, take it directly, but just use that to influence my melodies and my thoughts. And I mean, that's where our Joanne music came from. So I think it's crucial to go there.
Do you, I know you have a respect for it, but do you kind of take that same approach to Hawaiian music with the reggae, with mixing in with their culture? In a sense, like like a lot of people will dive into a music, like when people dive into Hawaiian music, it's like, hey, you should do your research before you did that. Do you feel that kind of has to be done with even with reggae a little bit, because it is another culture?
Definitely. I haven't received much critique from the the Jamaican people and the reggae purists as much, but I definitely see that, especially like in Hawaiian music, we're always listening to the puana, we're always listening to the kahakos and okina, how long he's holding this vowel, and how short. So I feel like I'm also having an emphasis there on good puana and kind of teaching that, because we're all always analyzing.
What's so cool is that I think that it's interesting for me as in this position on Kapa Hawaiian FM in this morning show, and knowing that now I don't think I anticipated one day that we'd be having conversations like this. Because back 20 years ago, Keala folks with Sudden Rush was the closest you would get to some kind of Olelo Hawai'i outside of Mele Hawaii. And it was one group, you know? Then of course, Aipohaku. And now you're hearing it, like we're playing it. We're playing it on the radio. It's a different, it's to me, sometimes it's kind of its own genre, if you will, because it's not just genre as meaning it's Olelo Hawai'i, but yet you're connecting to every single kind of genre through Olelo Hawai'i, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so it's pretty profound for us. You know, I mean, he's been in radio forever, the dinosaur of the company. And it's kind of cool to see where Olelo Hawai'i is today, especially on the radio waves. Do you have anything that you'd like to share regarding that?
No, I just think that, no, keep up the good work, of course. And I hope that more artists that dive into that genre approach it in your way, into, you know, the Pono way to do things, to, you know, analyze and to do research and educate. And to educate, and to also, because you're mixing two cultures together. I love the fact that you're embracing both sides and making sure that you're paying the other one the proper homage by digging into the archives and finding those, you know, those golden ones that, you know, that most of the people around here not going to know about either too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maki paha oi e mahalo aku ke kahi mau kanaka ya oi me maua ki kahi aka.
Sure. I produced all the music myself, and I also mixed it, and I had a lot of people helping on my mixing journey. Dubmaster Khan and Hokuaki, especially watching their videos and listening to their counsel. So, you know, getting the sonic parts of the melee kind of sounding better. So I really mahalo that. I have a lot to learn, and I will be learning.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, continue to share your music, and please continue to communicate, be in touch with us.
Where can people get the melee? Where can they download?
So it's on all digital media outlets, Spotify, Apple Music, especially it is also on YouTube. You just want to listen to a YouTube playlist. If you go onto my Instagram, Ikaakamai, there's a link tree, and there's all of the music and even productions I've been a part of. And there's also other things like a PDF for the Kumu Honua Mauliola, which is the latest one I just came out with this week. So
of course you did. Of course you did. You're a Kumu Olelo Hawai'i. Of course you did.
Oh no. Mahalo for having me though.
And for all other Kapa Cafes, you can also get online on YouTube with jaznkaea YouTube channel, or you can get onto BigIslandNow.com.
Don't forget subscribe.
Aloha.